Hello everyone, JRDO96 here with a brand new reaction video. As you can tell by the title, it's a Jacksepticeye video. Now this video, I've been trying to get to react to this video for a while because I wanted to see if he read my comment. Because I remember he was on Twitter and he tweeted, hey, something about reading comment, like ask questions or whatever. And I know most likely he didn't read mine, which was about is it weird if people cosplay as you or they're your alter egos or anything, because you kind of find it a little like, whoa, like what? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I think Ethan said something along those lines when he saw somebody dress up as him for Halloween. It's like, what? What? No pun intended. But, it's probably a bad question, but I'm pretty sure he's going to read the more, like, hysterical ones. And, so, like, I'm pretty sure it's probably in there, but it's most likely not. Like, no one told me about it or anything. No one told me, hey, your comment's in it. No one said anything. But then again, they didn't tell me that I was in the Editing is Everything, Markiplier and Biden 7 different genres video. No one told me that I was in that. So who knows? So I'm gonna react to this video anyway to see the comments anyway, like the Twitter comments, because I kind of saw some funny ones. I don't really remember off the top of my head because this was like almost a month ago. So, without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
And now, Twitter comments with Jacksepticeye.
Twitter comments.
If you could make one rule that everyone had to follow for a day, what would it be? My one rule for everybody in humanity on all over the whole entire flat Earth would be for everyone to do something nice for somebody else each and every day. Oh, actually, no. Never mind that. Cookie dough ice cream for everyone. Is there another drum cover coming soon? Soon is relative. I don't know when it'll actually happen, but yes, I'm going to do more drum covers eventually. I did not mean to leave it at like one drum cover.
I'm pretty sure he will do another one.
Drum videos. A lot of stuff happened this year that kind of got in the way, and I didn't have enough time to practice
mental breakdown and shit.
So I have ideas of what drum covers I want to do. I just need to take the time to actually sit down and practice them a lot until they're at a point where I feel like I can record them properly. And I want to make sure that when I record them, it actually comes out good. And it's something I'm proud of, and it actually sounds decent. So look out for those. It might be next year. I don't know. Biggest achievement of 2018. My biggest achievement easily of 2018 is finishing a world tour, because that was absolutely incredible. It was one of the things that I never ever thought would happen because of doing YouTube. And the fact that I got to like sit down with all my friends and craft a show all together, and I put down, like, I didn't know I could actually do it. I wanted to make like a stand-up comedy routine, like a 90-minute comedy special, and I didn't know if it was actually possible because I look up to a lot of comedians out there. And when I actually started writing the stuff, I was like, I don't know if this works or anything. And then slowly but surely, everything started to form. And then we ended up with this really great show that not only I thought was entertaining, but also had a really great message behind it. And something that was completely new, extremely challenging, something I had never done before, made me slightly uncomfortable to do it, but made me a better person overall out of it. But also just, it had something for people to hold on to. It had something that, when you left that show, I feel like there was a good message behind it, and something that people took with them when they were.
I wish I was able to go.
After that.
I was able to see the show.
Very, very proud of. It
had been amazing.
It had a message. It was funny. It was jokey. It talked about my life. It was something completely different, but something very similar to what I normally.
You don't really. There's no videos of the full show on YouTube. He was really restrictive about it.
And all you guys, like, face to face for the first time in a large capacity, and that was fantastic.
Mark wasn't necessarily that restricted with the videos.
Would you ever consider coming back to a European convention like Insomnia? There's a lot of people here who want to meet you. Yes, actually, I would love to come back to some more European conventions. The thing about them is that not a lot of people that I know go to them, and usually when I go to conventions it's to hang out with friends as well as meet all of you guys. So whenever I go to the ones in America, it marries both of those together perfectly, because a lot of my friends go to those, but barely anyone ever comes over to Europe. But there's a bunch of stuff going on in Europe now, like VidCon is in Europe now, they announced TwitchCon for Europe. for the first time ever. It's happening in April of 2019. Hopefully going to go to that. Maybe hit a Gamescom or something. I don't know. It all depends on the timing. Because whenever a European convention...
Insomnia, I know, like people like Terrorizer and Minilad, they go to that.
I'm committed to, so I can't make the time to go to the European ones, but I'd love to start going to more of them. Where were you on the night of April 17th? Well, you see us, for I was doing stuff with everybody else, and I was out and about the town, and I've an alibi. Time. See you later.
And he's gone. Home run.
Are they gone? Are you actually my dad? Yes,
no.
Charlotte, I am. I am sorry that you had to find out this way. Me and your mother wanted to keep it from you for a very, very long time.
Oh shit!
I just didn't want you to know
that's a joke,
that you had
but
an
still,
Irish
it's
dad
kind of
all
funny.
this time, but that's how things go. So, in your room, it's filthy. Why are you so handsome? Well, you see, it's a rigorous course of almond milk and baby's tears that keep my skin
milk
and my
and
face
baby's
looking young, fresh,
tears.
and revitalized. Where are we dropping? Drop tilted, you fucking cowards! On a scale of 1 to gamer, how much of a gamer are you? I'm so much of a gamer that I'm already Tracer. When will the How Did We Get Here documentary come out? So, we recorded the entire show. We recorded everything got to do with it. Tucker recorded some absolutely fantastic stuff, and he's a fucking genius. But we recorded a bunch of the actual show itself, just on its own. We recorded a bunch of the behind the scenes. We did a bunch of interviews with everybody. Some with me, some with the crew who were on board the entire way through it. And then we went back to Ireland at the end of everything a couple of weeks ago, and we recorded a bunch of stuff back there from where I grew up and some of the places that correlated to the stories that were in the show itself. So at some point, we will have an entire documentary to come out that will contextualize the show. It will show you how the show evolved and grew. But also it will tell you a whole lot more about me and who I am and how I ended up being where I am, hence the How Did We Get Here title. And it will just break down a lot of what it is to be like a YouTuber, and it'll break down a lot of what it takes to actually get up and do that kind of thing, and the different pathways you can take on doing YouTube. Stuff like that. So it's going to take a while to do. We wanted to make sure that we got something good and that we gave it the treatment that it deserved, because I think the documentary can turn into something really fantastic. So I want to make sure that it gets done right.
Mark's one was really good.
It'll be something that's worthwhile. So
take a page out of his book now.
It'll probably be sometime next year at some point. But
well, I'm pretty sure it was
obvious. What's your favorite song? I have a bunch of favorite songs. Like,
Ocean
you know,
Man.
Songs that's kind of going around in your head.
Deja Vu.
In the moment. And lately I've been listening to a lot more Hosier because I love him. He's fantastic. His voice is amazing. And one of my favorite songs from him is his To Be Alone song, but specifically the version up on YouTube where he plays it in a, I don't know if it's castle. He plays it live somewhere in Kilkenny, and it's just him, a guitar, and his voice, and it's breathtaking. It's amazing. Another one of my favorite songs of all time is Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis Presley, because I am a die-hard hopeless romantic, and that song just, it's lovely. It's wonderful. I love listening to that song, and it's so wholesome and sweet. And then I think my favorite song of all time is My Way by Frank Sinatra, because I heard it when I was a kid. Frank Sinatra's voice is incredible, and I loved it. And even when I was really young, I was like the only one of my friends who was listening to that type of music. And I originally heard that song in the Cadbury's Cream Egg ad when I was younger, and I've always liked it since. And I think the lines in the song are really cool. It's about just doing things your way. So those would be some of my favorites. How is it possible that a bunch of non-sentient cells can get together to form a conscious being? Grande, just stick to fucking making memes, okay? Don't come out here with all this philosophical, scientific bullshit that you think you know. What was your least favourite part about going on tour for so long? Ooh, that's interesting. I think just the time away from everything, because there was a lot of travel. The tour itself... You had
to be travelling in a
shows, I guess, but there was only 3, but going on the road for such huge periods of time. Like, we were on the road for 2 weeks at a time most times, and then for Europe, it was like 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks even, including like the section that we did at the end, tagging Ireland onto it. So just being away from the channel for so long, it's brought a little bit of unfocus to everything, because just traveling so much, it was like 8 months out of the year was spent like doing tour stuff with some gaps in between. So being gone from the channel for like 2 weeks at a time meant that I either had to prep And when I'm prepping stuff, I'm not making the best content because I'm just making content for the sake of it. And then, like, not uploading content and taking more time for myself and everything is great, and doing the tour is something that was fantastic, and I don't regret doing it or taking time away. It's just that when you're away for so long, you're just not in the community as much as you'd like to be, and stuff kind of gets a little disjointed. So being away from you guys and not, like, being fully involved in the channel was something that I kind of disliked about it. And also a bunch of games came out when I was on tour sometimes, like
Spider-Man.
like Detroit Become Human came out when I was on tour, I remember, and it was like a week after it came out that I actually got back. So stuff like that kind of bummed me out every now and then, but still a fantastic experience, and I loved it. Why are you so good at pole dancing?
Oh no.
You know, I just have the moves in me, and I was born for that pole dance.
Also, I'm a slim hip little fucker and I can really bend. Do you have any big projects you're working on for the future? Yeah, I think I always kind of have something going on. Something outside of the channel and stuff for the channel and everything, and I have a bunch of ideas that I want to do for next year. That's one of the benefits of coming off tour as well, is that now I can actually sit back down and focus a lot more energy back into the channel. And I'm still going to be traveling a lot next year, but it won't be for like 2 weeks at a time with no content going up for a week of that. Or at least I'm definitely going to try not let that happen again. So there's a bunch of things that I want to get done. A lot of them I'm not going to say because just in case they don't happen, and a lot of them
You don't want to make promises. You don't want to break
promises,
promises, dude.
But like stuff with PMA, I want to really start pushing that clothing brand a lot further next year. I think we can make some really cool stuff. We have a bunch of ideas in place. That's going to be awesome. Stuff with Cloak, I'm really excited to push.
Oh,
that
obviously
as well.
Cloak.
So the clothing line of stuff that I'm doing is really exciting. The documentary being one of them. I really want to sit down with Tucker and the guys from Real Good Touring and really hammer that out. There's another thing that I want to do in regards to that and my life and everything. So I want to sit down and try and craft that out as well. And also just bigger budget, like live action stuff that I want to do. I wanted to do ego content for a really long time again, and it's just been kind of put in the back burner because I want to do something that's new and exciting and stuff that I haven't done before, and not just repeat the same patterns over and over again. So I want to take the time to do that well and do it properly and really put some effort behind it and make it really, really good. What's your first childhood memory that comes to mind? Weird. For some reason, the first memory I ever have, I have two. One of them is me sitting in the corner in our kitchen as a baby, and I'm sitting there in a little nappy, and I am sitting up on the countertop in the corner with my little legs dangling, and I think I'm eating Rice Krispies from the cereal box. I think that's one of my earlier memories. And then another one I have is being in the sitting room, or the living room, with my mother, and she had a stew done. I was a little older at this point. She had a stew done, and it had mashed potatoes in it, and she was scooping it up and blowing it off and giving it to me to eat. And I don't know why those are two memories that stick in my head from a really early age. I have some stuff from like my kid years, but like some of the first memories I have are probably those, and I don't know why. What would you tell someone battling depression and anger? Sorry that this is so deep. Love you and your videos. Have an amazing day. You shouldn't apologize for having a deep question. I mean, that's kind of what we do over here. We have lighthearted questions and stuff where I just swear and dick off every now and then, but then we also get heavy and start talking about these types of things. And I mean, my advice for everybody is always, like, it's always going to change, like, person to person, because it's not always the same. If you're going through, like, depression is an overarching term, but how many different forms it comes in is completely different for everybody. But depression and anger, specifically, that's a tricky one. For me, the way I overcame a lot of these things, because I've been depressed in my years, slightly when I've been doing YouTube as well, but also when I was a teenager. And the thing that kind of got me out of those things is to just try and keep telling myself that things were going to get better, that the stuff that I'm in right now sucks and it's horrible and I hated going through it, but stuff was always going to get better at the end of the day. And the things that I was feeling right now were temporary. And it might last a lot longer for you, it might last a lot shorter, who knows, again, that's dependent on the person, but also to just keep yourself busy, to keep yourself proactive, to write down some stuff that you want to do with yourself, to not let yourself just sit and reside in your thoughts. Sometimes that's necessary, to sit and actually feel what you're feeling and understand it and see where that stuff is kind of coming from, and like that anxiety and things like that are worthwhile to know. But to also just keep yourself busy, keep yourself working, keep yourself moving forward, and keep things passing by. And again, just being proactive in it and doing stuff for yourself and taking some time for yourself. Meditation has been really helpful for me to just recenter my brain and balance myself out. And I like to start my day with that because it puts me into a focused, just a focused brain space each and every day. And I'm not going to go into exactly what it is right now because you can Google that type of stuff. But just to try and like
Google
get your brain to focus
friend.
on nothing for a while, to get everything else to kind of wash away and focus on the nothing and focus on yourself and your breathing, because then after that it really settles your body down. It lets your brain relax, it lets your brain switch off or slow down a small bit, enough to clear your mind to help you focus again, and to just do that as many times as you need. What are you going to do when we're blocked from YouTube?
Dave by Dave.
This might become a reality if we don't start doing stuff about Article 13
Oh
coming
yeah.
up soon. I'm not going to get into the hyper details of Article 13 right now because, again, that's
Later
a
this
bigger
month, I
topic for
think
a
it's
different
decision
video.
time.
But basically, Article 13 is trying to make sure that the copyrights and everything of the stuff you upload to the internet are going to get a lot more stringent. And if Article 13 passes, to boil it all down into simplistic terms, it means that in Europe it will be basically impossible to upload any sort of creative or artistic content. So any of the stuff that I upload right now, it will all disappear because I won't be legally able to upload a Let's Play because I don't own the copyrights to the game. Even uploading like anything reactionary won't be allowed because I don't own the copyright or the rights to the stuff unless I buy it, but even then it's hard to know if you own the rights to absolutely everything involved in that. Like the music, the voices, all this different type of stuff. So Article 13 is something that they're trying to push through in Europe right now. So if you care about YouTube, if you care about YouTubers and the people you're watching and any content at all, not even just mine, but anybody from Europe, we will all basically have to stop uploading content. The only thing I'd be able to upload is me talking directly to a camera. Basically just vlog content. Like just me, my room, and the camera. And even then, I don't know, there's probably some bullshit here and there that I wouldn't be able to do. So anybody from Europe would have to completely stop what they're uploading. Any of you outside of Europe wouldn't even be able to watch our content. We're not allowed to upload it, you wouldn't be able to watch it. Like, things like that. That's about to happen. So please, take Article 13 seriously. Don't just brush it off as another thing that the internet is complaining about. It's very, very serious. And maybe I'll read up on it a bit more, and maybe I'll make another video about it, talking about it, because it's something that I think that everybody needs to know about, because this shit is fucking crazy. How much more games are you still going to play in future? I'm gonna say at least 10, maybe more. A zero-sum amount, let's put it that way. What does the rest of the year look like for you? I know this year has been so busy for you and has been filled with a lot of traveling. Yeah, it really has. It's been filled with an insane amount of traveling, and what I've got planned for the rest of the year is to kind of take it a bit easier. I have a little bit more traveling to do, but it's kind of just for more fun stuff. I have stuff planned for the end of the year for Christmas. I'm going to go back to Ireland for that and hang out with family and stuff, and I'm going to go see some friends before the year is over and hang out with them and just really kind of, I don't know, really kind of decompress as the year settles down. Because when I was in LA, I went to LA at the start of July, and I was there for 3 months, and then I came back for like a week, so to speak, and I had to cram videos to go on tour, and then I went on tour for 3 weeks, and then after I came back from tour, it was the first time that I was properly alone here, and my mind completely lost itself. I had no idea what I was doing. I got very, very anxious. I got very, I don't know, very, very irritable. I got very, very, like, oh God, what do I do with my time? Because Brighton, as lovely as it is, there's not a whole lot going on in town, and I was just left with my thoughts for the first time in a very long time. And coming off something that was so gargantuan and so monumentous in my life, like a tour where you have thousands of people every single night, like cheering at you and reacting to the stuff you're doing and having a great time and feeling that energy from people every single day, and being on tour with all my tour family and meeting friends and going around and traveling the world and everything. It's just so fucking amazing that when you come back, everything has stopped. and I went a little crazy and got like seriously, like legitimately anxious, because I would sit here and just overthink things and overanalyze things and get very like critical about things and worry that things were not going the way they were supposed to, and just it was very uncomfortable and I didn't like it at all. So I would get these huge swells of anxiety in my chest and not know how to deal with them. So that's why meditation has been so helpful for me specifically. And just trying to come down off that and relax a small bit and figure out what I want to do with my spare time again, because I haven't had spare time in a really long time. So for the rest of the year, I just want to kind of take it easy. I'll probably take a little bit more time off when it comes into the holidays, just to take some time for myself and really hit next year properly and in a right mind space, and maybe do a bit more therapy before the end of the year, just to make sure that I'm dealing with things in the best capacity possible. And then, because next year is going to be pretty damn busy again, and there's a lot of life change happening behind the scenes that I'm very excited about, so I want to make sure that I deal with that properly and don't fuck anything up, because some really great things happening in my life that I want to make sure go well. But that does it for this video. This one was for Twitter. I'm hoping to try and get back into these a little bit more. I know I keep saying that, I'm sorry. But leave some comments on this one, and I'll use some of those then for the next video, and we'll do a YouTube reading comments again. Because I miss interacting with you guys. I miss seeing what you guys want to talk about and hearing, and it's been a long time since the last ones, so I feel like a whole bunch of new stuff has happened that people want to know about, and stuff that I can actually talk about. So let's try and reignite this a small bit again. Maybe not as frequently as before, but at least to just have this connection again, because I miss that a lot. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, punch the like button in the face! Like a boss! And
Like I thought.
well, thank you guys, and I will see all you dudes!
Worm! Oh my god. Jesus Christ. But that was all the comments he read from Twitter, and unfortunately mine was not there, which is not a surprise. I guess my question wasn't worthy, which is fine. I'm not begging him to see my comments. I'm not begging him to see the content I do, the cosplays I do. Not at all. I'm not trying to force him to get to watch this shit. Like, no. But it would have been nice, you know? But the one question that really stuck to me was, besides the whole mental health stuff, the first the first memory that you had, that you remember, what was the first thing you saw? And I felt like sharing mine, because it's interesting. I don't know, I don't know how you want to describe it, but the best way I could describe it, it almost felt like the start of like a video game, where like in like in Metroid Prime, where you see the cutscene of Samus getting out of her ship, and then you see the camera pan around her, and then it just zooms out and zooms right into her head to the first person perspective. Not necessarily like that, but the memory I had was when I was I think I was around 2 or 3, and I'm coming out of the bathroom in the old apartment that me and my mother were living at the time. I'm walking out of the bathroom. Like, I see me walking out of the bathroom, and then it just zooms into the back of my head, and just, now, here I am. That's pretty much how the best way I could describe it. It was almost like a video game, where I see myself walking out of the bathroom into the kitchen. Like, the camera, pretty much, was in the hallway, like a few feet from me, and I'm approaching, and then it just moves right into the head, in my head. And that's how, that was when my brain decided to start recording my memories, I guess. But, yeah, interesting, right? And you always hear those stories of people being reincarnated and stuff. I have no idea if I am been reincarnated, that I was someone else in history, but all I know is I am me, and that's all I need to know. All I need to know is my current life, and that's it. My current life, and not somebody else's. And the other one that's probably huge, and obviously a lot of people are talking about, and obviously I don't really want to talk about it because it seems like obviously it probably won't affect us here in the United States. The whole Article 13. This is pretty much something as a lot worse than the whole net neutrality thing that was supposed to happen, which ended up not happening. So it's so funny. I remember someone like saying, "Oh, Europe had our back with the net neutrality." Yeah, now we have to have their back for this whole Article 13, because if this ends up being passed, Jack and every other YouTuber in Europe, PewDiePie, everybody, won't be able to make videos anymore, pretty much. Because they'll be copyrighted to fucking death. YouTube's gonna suffer huge. Like, they're gonna lose a lot of fucking money with that, and you don't want that. I'm pretty sure like people like MatPat and others have made videos about explaining what Article 13 is. And honestly, we should make sure that it doesn't happen. But I just have that slight feeling that it just may happen. But we better fight, keep the good fight, make sure that this does not happen. We got to talk to a lot of people, to the important people out there. Make sure that this happens. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't talk today. Make sure that this does not happen. Because you don't want to see Jack or PewDiePie or other YouTubers that are from Europe make their last video. Like, you don't want to see that now. Just because, you know what's probably going to end up happening? If this actually ends up going through, you're probably going to see a lot of these people from Europe moving to the United States. You're probably going to see a lot of that happen, because that's the only place that is not as restrictive, wouldn't be as restrictive with copyright than in Europe, if this ends up going through, which I hope it doesn't. Because I don't want to see Jack or other people from Europe, unfortunately, going to have to stop making videos, the content that they do. And most likely, we won't be able to see any of this footage, these videos on YouTube. Like, because of Europe being a piece of shit. Saying, no, it has to be copyrighted. Remember the whole debacle years and years ago when YouTube was becoming like its own thing, when YouTube was in its infancy, and people were posting video game content on YouTube at the time? This was way before the whole Let's Play term came into play. The developers and publishers of these video games were copyrighting the videos and claiming that they were stealing the contents of the game. I remember vividly back in the day that whole debacle with the video game stuff, because back then it was brand new. It was something brand new. Video games being footage being posted on YouTube, like video game gameplay videos were being posted on Let's Plays, were being posted on YouTube before it was even called that, before it became really popular. Like, most of these video game developers, like people like Rockstar, Take-Two, were really restrictive with it. You know, especially, you know, speaking of like copyright copywriting the hell out of your videos. The obvious one that really was doing it the longest was Nintendo. Nintendo just refused to quit with the whole copywriting your videos and taking half of your revenue on videos that relate to Nintendo related content. Any video game footage that involved Nintendo. Yeah, they were really restrictive about it until like recently. They dropped that whole program because they realized after 5 years of bullshit, or after many years of bullshit, they finally realized, I think we fucked up. I think we fucked up. Like, dude, you're not poor anymore. You're making millions of dollars already with the Switch. You're goddamn fine. The Wii U, I know, was a fucking disaster because you're fucking morons that don't know what to do. Because you were like, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't really market it well. That was why it failed, because you didn't market it well. That's why it failed. But now that you're making a lot of money and a lot of sales in the Switch and stuff, thank God they cut back on the whole that copyright thing, like the whole creative program that they had. That pretty much that they would take half of your revenue and stuff. Like, you have to sign this agreement and shit. It's like the stupidest shit in the world. It's like, come on. The other companies like Sony, Microsoft, and most of these developers, video game developers, development teams, like publishers and stuff, they allowed it. They were allowing it. Like, go ahead. We want to see your experience with the game. Like, no wonder why people were posting Spider-Man Let's Plays, or Spyro Let's Plays, or Crash Let's Plays, or whatever. Slender, or... And then indie games became a thing because of YouTube and stuff. The people playing, like, Five Nights at Freddy's, which was an indie game that became a huge hit, and a huge franchise. But, enough about talking about copyright in video games. Yeah, I think that video was really fun to watch. You notice that I really didn't talk as much while he was talking and stuff during the video. I wanted to listen to what he was saying. I didn't want to talk over him or anything like that. I wanted to listen to what he was saying. Like, I know people saying, what boring footage, it's just you staring at the video. Because you're listening to what they have to say. You don't want to talk in the middle of what they're supposed to say because you might miss something really important. That's that's a huge mistake that you could make if you're watching something like on the level of Who Killed Markiplier or Wilfred My Loving Warstache. Like, I missed like certain things in that because I was talking over it a little bit. I talked at the wrong time. So I wanted to stay quiet and listen to what they have to say. So, that is officially it. Ooh, I dropped something. That's officially it on today's reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to also check out my Instagram because I make collabs with Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do reenactments and cosplays on there, so go check it out. Be sure to also check out my Tumblr. It's in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!